Alright, so we have our seat post and our bracket, which have been modeled in surfaces, and our UCS is still set the way that it was when we created this post. This UCS will work for the next step that we want. We want to mirror these two halves, or this one half, on the other side. So you have two halves that are connected, and because we created these on this plane, when we mirror them, it will create what's called a watertight object. So what you want is for these surfaces to meet together, and as you orbit around it, eventually there will be no open cavities. So right now, since it's only half, there's a lot of open cavities here, so it's definitely not watertight. If I were to put water in this and then turn it upside down, the water would just fall right out. So we need to do what's called mirroring. So we're creating a copy of it, but the mirror image. So to mirror this object, I'm going to view from the top. So if you use the cube over here in the upper right hand corner, I'm going to view from the top. So now I can just click this, viewing from the top. And I want to mirror. So mirror is found in the modify group, but it's an extra button that's hidden. So you have to click on the arrow, and it's this. It looks like two triangles side by side. So it creates a mirror image. Click on that to start the mirror command. Then we need to select all the objects that we want to mirror. I'm just going to draw a selection box around all of this. Press enter. I'm done selecting objects. Then it wants me to specify the first point of the mirror line. The mirror line is going to be this line here. So I can pick any point on this line. And then I want to just make sure that my line is straight across. You'll get a dotted green line. Doesn't matter where on this line I click. Anywhere on this line will do. So I'm going to click. Now the next thing it wants to know is, do you want to erase the source object? Yes or no. In this case, I want to keep both, so I'm going to select no. Or since that's the default, I could just press enter to accept the default. So I'm going to press enter. Now my two halves are together, and all I'm going to do is rotate or orbit to make sure there aren't any openings for if there's water inside of this object. I'm going to make sure it's watertight and there's no way for the water to come out. Alright, since this is a watertight object, we should be able to do what's called surface sculpting into a solid. It's what I prefer, the method I prefer to use to create solids from surfaces. So that's called surfsculpt, and it's a hard one to find, so I'm just going to type it in. So it's SURF. Once you type in surf, it shows up first on the list here. You could either press enter, or you could select that from the list there. And then we're going to select all these objects. Press enter. Now it looks like nothing much happened, but it actually converted this from surfaces that have no thickness to them to a solid. So it's filling in all the gap with solid material. So it's the same shape that we had, but now this is a solid that could be printed if we wanted to. So that's converting from surfaces to solids.